What's going on, YouTube? You're back with Sage. We're going to continue our Let's Play of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Last time we left off, we just entered the trial, and we're doing our first cross-examination. And apparently, it's presented this photo. I looked it up. It was just really annoying. I'm like, some of these don't make sense. Like, according to the walkthrough, this one shows that, oh, she's not holding a knife in the photo. And I'm just like, well, you could have just used, the fucking knife. It has no prints on it. Whatever. Objection! And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife. As I've already stated, yes. I swear to my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that's a fine lunch. But, isn't that odd? Looking at this photograph, this is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? And why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. Let's be a little more careful with our evidence, shall we? It's you that needs to be more careful, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. How can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stain on the chief prosecutor's coat? It's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but yes, this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take this kind of abuse? Ah, you got a better idea? Let's always choose objection, why not? Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment that she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in the photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? Is it germaphobe? If she was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. What? These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned, rubber gloves will prove it. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as an evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Ugh. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Mrs. Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking it was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. She's gotta think of a way to show that this wasn't a premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Okay, whatever. Okay, you gonna keep saying that? Okay, so... the knife. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Sky planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Ugh. The hell? That was weird. Order! 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 Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright! My sentence is as good as free! I wouldn't say that. These trials usually take all 3 days. Right? I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide had turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If she wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge a knife in again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I order a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie. I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again. Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of an oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. Excuse me. Ooh, wow. That was a belch. That's why she called the victim all the way from the prosecutor's office. You have no proof that Miss Skye called him here. You have no proof that she did? Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? There is no record of a call made on the defendant Miss Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on, you could have tried public phone first at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness, why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because you didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See, we agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree? Oh, I get it! That's why my lunch was so salty! This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. A human machine? That's a contradiction. Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self, Mr. Edgeworth's sigh smells like citrus fruit. You could smell it from across the room. You say again and again. How many times did you stab him exactly? We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done? How come she's getting mad at me? Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that? This is a murder case, people! Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know. Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when you met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Okay, I have an idea. Oops, god damn it. The autopsy report! You say she stabbed him again and again, but you wouldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Ah! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed. Well, witness? Before we hear the witness's testimony, I think right now is a good time to ask you to go, hey, if you like this video so far and you like me so far, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell to know when I upload videos on the daily. So thank you guys so much for watching. Anyway, let's continue the games now, shall we? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood, but now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed it at least twice. And tell us what you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler looked like a blood to me. That's how gnarly the whole scene was. Her red muffler? Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at the moment's notice, I suppose. She's right. This guy was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like a kindergarten sometimes. Wow. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood in her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. What the hell? Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr has turned out to be short-tempered as she looked when you met her. Okay, this is this again. Am I pressing on the crime photo again? Let me see this. She isn't wearing her thingy right here. Nice. Her muffler, as people call it. It's a British term, isn't it? Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim, and you've proved it yourself. With this photograph. Look at this photograph! Huh, but that can't be! Only a true professional could be so clueless. I'm sure you make a good lunch lady, have no fear. Harsh words, but good! In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection, chopped liver? But it was there! A scarf! No, not that, but something red, really! Well now, where were we? The witness had given us an entertaining interlude, now back to business. What? Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. You're quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Attorney Wright gets bitten by snake. What the hell? The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside and knocked over an oil drum. Oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. Are you a scene, kid? Rawr. XD. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Let's do this. After the murder, the So where is this partition in the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there and a knocked over oil drum. There's a wall there about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her and arrested her on the spot. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. Lunchline car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there's a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing, the call of a queen lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. How come Miss Sky didn't get away? When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Cheeky. Anyway, I heard her say the word muffler. Just that one word. So, what you heard wasn't a suspect talking to you, but someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? You mean the cell phone? Do I ask further? I usually think I do. By phone, do you mean the cell phone discovered by the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately. My memory is like salmon, heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't seem to stop. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. And so she used a cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should of course add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie detective defense attorney. Cell phone updated in the court record. She gave up trying to use the phone on the wall and just used her cell phone. Do you think you could restate your testimony for a court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one more time, so listen close to rookies. The chief prosecutor was stabbed and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but was out of order. She pulled out her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this. What is it, Mr. Wright? Chief prosecutor made to escape, but Rachel Starr just futile. This guy tried to run. She made to escape. Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a plate of foie gras. Huh? She even kicked over an old oil drum at me. An oil drum? There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. What's that? If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way? The car entrance. That's right. It doesn't make sense that she would run from behind the partition to oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Sky tried to run. I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it. You have to believe me. Okay. Hold on. The defendant was over here, right? So how could she see it? Oops, no. I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How did you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. That's with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Ahem, let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making a phone call. I believe that you see what I'm getting at. The emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? Well, I'm gonna make the noise. Order! What's the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies. Grr. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me to question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about what she saw, right? Or where she saw it. She tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. It would be pointless for her to lie about it. Pointless to lie? I see. The witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. In other words, Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I've ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was his witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place where Mr. Witness's crime was here. The security room? Maybe? I don't know. Well, I'm thinking security room because, like, she was visiting her boyfriend, right? So she was in the security room and she saw what was happening, and that's on the side of the partition. But before I go on to what Phoenix Wright said and I present the evidence, I would like to take this moment to ask you guys to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell, because it really helps out a lot. It also allows you to know when I upload the videos. I upload every day from Monday to Friday, hopefully 2 times a day, but usually at least 1 video. So thank you guys once again for doing that thing if you feel inclined to do so. Anyway, let's get back to the game. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room. Indeed, the security guard room is in the underground parking lot that was well positioned. It's built on the 2nd level so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone room there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness not being part of the prosecutor's office couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr. How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has gotten the better of Angel Starr. Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure that justice prevails. I think I messed up my recording a little bit. I don't remember. The guilty. Is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright? Doesn't it strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. Hang on, guys. Alright, guys, sorry about that. I kind of messed up. I was supposed to end the part last time, not like ask you guys to hit the notification bell. Sorry, that was my bad. I got confused because like I have a timer here to tell me when the part's like halfway over. So that was my bad. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from me from the series, hit the subscribe button. And you're not exiting the Shadyverse. My name is Shades, and I hope you've enjoyed. You're doing the Shades. See you guys next time. Bye.